Greetings. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Mushtaq Memon, Professor Emeritus from Washington State University. Today's video is about grassroots education and training of livestock farmers. And this is a case study focused in Nepal. So this was a volunteer assignment for me to go to Nepal. You might be wondering, what does volunteer means? Well, in United States, we have an Agency for International Development, or USAID, which has certain funds given by Department of State of the United States to help developing countries. So USAID then advertise different projects, depends on the priorities of those countries. And then different NGOs or non-government organizations of the United States apply and compete for those funds. So in this case, Windrock International, very large NGO of the United States, got the contract to implement this project in Nepal. So then these NGOs look for experts in different subjects or areas that they can go out to those countries, so then they can help without getting paid. Now what that means again? Well, these volunteer experts do get expenses for travel, their room and board in the country, and if it's needed, maybe even translators or interpreters in those countries if English is not language of the country. So other than that, I think, in my situation, I was a professor at Washington State, so my salary was paid. And the university thought this is a very valuable thing to contribute. So they allowed me to go on these assignments, which are usually about 2 to 3 weeks. So I had at least one, sometimes 2 assignments in a year. Extremely educational, enjoyable. Not only I taught them something, they also taught me quite a bit. So it was a mutually beneficial assignment. So let me give you some more details. Nepal is bordered with China in the north, and the other 3 sides, east, west, and the south, is bordered with India. So whenever I go to these developing countries, I try to request our local U.S.-based pharmaceutical companies and supplies companies to please donate, XYZ. I give them a list of supplies that they can use. And as you can see, these 3 companies have donated quite a few supplies. And so here I am, in the office of Dairy Cooperative. And on the left-hand side, the gentleman is the president of the Dairy Cooperative, and the middle is the interpreter. So there are quite a few farmers in the area, more than 400. But in this particular cooperative, there were 186 members. So they did different things together and tried to help to get more discounts and other things on feed and things like that. So all of them had, so to speak, shares in this cooperative. So these are kind of interesting pictures, starting from the left. So these farmers having, somewhere from 1 to 20 cows, take the milk for the family's use or consumption, and then take the rest of the milk, put in small containers, and come to this office of the cooperative. And the first picture shows that these people have these small containers on bicycles and bring it to the cooperative. And the second picture, you can see that all those containers are lined up for their turn to have the milk measured and tested. In the third slide, you see that milk is being tested by a technician for total solids and for protein. And at the bottom, you could see that the milk is poured and to measure how the quantity, and then it is put in large containers. And the last slide is that the bicycle with the specialist stands have these large containers this person is going to transport to the milk processing factory or plant. So this is really the process of milk collection and then transportation. Now, my part, I discussed with the farmers that how can I deliver this information to you in a form of seminar, discussion, question and answers, as well as going to the farm. So they decided, so let us have these seminar and discussions in individual farmers' house, which can afford. Some farmers have the larger homes. So on your right-hand side, you see we are in a farmer's house, and I had my slides, and they provide a slide projector. So we were showing these slides, I was showing it on the white wall, and they were very attentive and asked very good questions, which I also learned what kind of problems do exist in that part of, Chitwan district where this cooperative was located. Our left-hand side is the another building belonged to the school. So on weekends, they did on the school building, so it was already an enjoyable, very large group of farmers could come. I went through quite a few different problems of dairy cows, as well as showed them on the farm different techniques that the farmers can perform. For example, many anthelmintics or anti-parasitic drugs are given by subcutaneous injections. So on left-hand side, I'm showing them how they can pull the skin fold and then give the injection under the skin fold subcutaneously. On right-hand side, I'm showing them California mastitis test, which is a test depend upon, what is going on in the udder of this cow, because of frequent milking causes some inflammation in the udder. And if the inflammation goes to the point where it produces a lot of white blood cells or somatic cells, so you can test that, what you call cow side test. So this pedal has 4 receptacles or cups. So each quarter is milked in each receptacle. So cow is 4 quarters. So then reagents is put in equal amount in this one and this pedal, and then you shake it and then look at this mixture of reagents in the milk. More somatic cells counts you have, more clots you will see that you will have clumps and sometimes very sticky appearance of, that milk sample. So that becomes a very nice, quick cow side test for farmers to see which quarter of that cow has mastitis. So this subclinical mastitis, if it's not treated in time and properly, could become clinical mastitis, where cow can get sick, could have a fever, and then requires probably more medication. And by the way, that milk with high somatic cell count is not good for health of the people who consume it. So that milk should not be consumed if it's quite a few somatic cell count. In most of the countries, you have a minimum, what they call somatic cell count, which is tested, and then after that, the milk is not good for human consumption. So without going into too many details of CMT, or California mastitis test, by the way, I was given few of these pedals donated by the supply company, which I left it with the farmers along with many other supplies for them. Then came to the important part of animal management, which is nutrition. So as you can see in this picture, these cows are being fed wheat straw. And this wheat straw, as you can imagine, does not have much protein or any source of energy other than a source of roughage. So we went through all that to explain to them these cows to produce milk or get pregnant need to have more energy than whatever, you are giving them. On top of that, these animals may have some parasites. For instance, liver fluke is fairly common in that part of the country. So we went through all that problems with the health of the cow. Now you can see in this picture here, you can even visually can see the very sharp, backbone. At the same time, you can see the very obvious ribs in this cow, and the udder was very small. And I even examined these cows per rectum to see the reproductive tract. And the ovaries are very tiny, small, almost like a peanut size. So there was no activity. So if these cows do not cycle, they obviously cannot get pregnant. So that's why they were complaining their artificial insemination conception rate was only 5 to 10%. So I tried to explain to these farmers that please understand the reproduction is a luxury function of the body. Body has to have everything else fully furnished, for instance, the food and energy before this cow can get pregnant. So, cow, for that matter, even human, do not need to get pregnant, to survive. So animal can survive just like human without getting pregnant. So anyway, so I try to, make sense from these importance of nutrition, how they can feed these animals more. So it was a very enjoyable trip, and I think they appreciated it very much, and I also learned quite a bit. So it's a two-way street. So my next video is going to be Grassroot farmer help to Jordan. Very different country, different environment, different animal management systems. So I look forward to sharing with you that information. Until then, goodbye.